Okay, so we're in graphic design 1. This is with Nick and Janine. Sorry. Okay, so looking at your type, I'm going to say that my favorite font, I'm just going to highlight this, is Avenir Next Condensed in the bold italic. I think that one has the best visual. I also think it would be interesting to look at your Rockwell, but maybe not in italic, just to see what that looks like. I think the italic becomes too much with all of the very vertical lines that are in it. And then I also feel like the Skya or Skia is interesting, and maybe I just do a search in 1001 free fonts for like Greek style fonts. That might be kind of interesting. You know, like old school, like Olympic game kind of stuff that might give you a very different twist to this football cleat. Okay? So I think those 3 have the most potential. I think you go back and look at your sketches that you did, see what you can do with playing around with your eyes like you had talked about. Working around spacing. Like I said, this one I would tighten up. Maybe the Rockwell gets loosened up a little bit. I would also consider trying maybe all caps, right? We haven't seen that come through, or maybe the eyes always stay lowercase, everything else goes to all caps. So that's where you want to start playing around with the type and see what it can do. All right? Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And then now you have to go forward and work on the image, right? So we're not taking any of the text at this point. Now you're just creating a mark. So what could this mark be? And this is where you have to do some sketches and figure out what could you put into this mark. So let's just do some research here for a second, right? So if we were looking at logo marks, I'm just going to do football and just see what comes up. And go into images. So I'm just looking at ones related to football, right? So obviously team sports are going to have their own little thing, right? And then of course a football in itself is an icon, right? So you're seeing that in a couple of the leagues, right? So that's going to happen. So what else could you do to indicate this being a football cleat? What are some things that identify with this? So go back to your words that you used in your mind map and see if there's some words that represent strong or ability or flexibility or whatever, and see what you can create in regards to that. So do you know the history of the Nike logo?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
What is the history of it? Do you know what it stands for?
No, I don't know why I don't know that much.
So let's see if we can bring this up. I don't know if this will get us where we want, but I'm guessing. All right, so they created the Nike swoosh, and everybody knows the Nike swoosh, but the idea was, let's see, they wanted to pull off something that connected with speed and victory. So the company takes its name from the Greek goddess of victory, Nike. That's how they got the name, right? So this is where we talked about when we created the name, we need to find something that we can connect with, right? So the goddess was the inspiration to Greek warriors. When the warriors won a war, they used to say Nike to each other. And when designers created a logo, they considered the meaning behind it connected, right? It was created by Carolyn Davidson, and she used the swoosh to reflect the Nike shoes. And she wanted the swoosh to be part of it, to show the speed and the agility in a warrior, right? And that's what Nike wanted to say about their design, was that you were a warrior, that you were doing something beyond the normal, right? Because their initial goal was to create sneakers that made people go faster. And so the idea is that the swoosh zips by, right? So we hear that something zips past us quickly by our side. The word stands for a fast sound, speed, and motion. That's the reason that the custom logo is in the shape that shows the arch of the movement. So that's the deal, right? They wanted something that looked like it was moving fast. So in regards to yours, what do you want to say about football? What do you want to say about movement? What do you want to say about the spirit of the game, or why your shoe is better? Why is the brand stronger, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what icon can represent that? And maybe it's just lines, right? Like maybe it's just speed, or maybe it's just comfort, like here's the Wildcats. So we don't see a Wildcat, but we see like the claws and like the mark left by the claws, right? So here's the Grizzlies. Again, you see the letter, but you see the response to a grizzly coming at you and attacking. So those are the kinds of things that you can think about when you're designing the logo. It doesn't have to be an actual, blind eye representation. You can use lines to indicate and show how other people are going to react to that and what they're going to respond to. All right. So think about what you can do with that. What, in the essence of your logo, what is in the spirit of that? What do you want people to know? And you got those dots above the eyes. Maybe something comes out of that, right? Maybe the dots become something. So think about that. Okay?
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So those icons, you need to do some serious sketches. Then you need to get right on the computer and start pulling some of those together. So hopefully Friday you have all that buttoned up, and you can show me your variations of that, right? This is kind of cool. They put the football in the 1 and the 5. That's kind of neat way to do it. So I want you to think about just the icon. And then we need to get the icon and the logo together by Monday. So we need to see what happens with that. So that's why I'm hoping if you can get all that stuff done by Friday, then we can take what you've done for your icons and pick one that's really going to be fresh and interesting and exciting, and then put that together with your type and see how it goes. Okay? So that way you're showing me final stuff on Monday, and we look at the variations that you have, and it could be small little tweaks, and then that's your final. We pick one of those and go forward. All right?
Yeah.
Right, so this is Toledo. That's kind of cool. They did a rocket. That's kind of neat. So you have a lot of work to do this week. Sorry, but I know it's a holiday weekend, but you're 2 weeks behind now, so we're really got to push this. All right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if you want to meet before then, too, that's fine. Like, we can meet after class on Wednesday. If you want to show me what you've got done with icons or with your text and go from there. All right?
Sure.
So that's fine, too. So it just depends on what your timeline is like this week. I don't know what else you got. Are you working again or no?
No.
Okay. So you got plenty of time. All that time is going to be for me this week.
So I can put like the word Pearson in like a football logo icon thing, for example.
Let me see if I can find. I have that one that hangs up in the classroom. Hold on. All right. So when you are doing sketches, I want you to start with this, right? You're developing your ideas, right? Random sketches in your sketchbook. Throw them down on paper, get some ideas out, right? Yes. You can do them as tight as you want to or loose as you want to. That's up to you. And then I need you to pick the 3 or 4 that you think are worthwhile and get them on the computer. All right? So let's see. So once you get to the point where you're on the computer, you're going to have this, variations, different ideas electronically, right? And you're going to put those in the computer and be like, okay, this is what I'm thinking. Right? And then that's what this weekend is all about. You need to figure out how to put them together. What can I do with, this graphic and put that together with my logo? The type treatment that you also need to finish up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And you can see a lot of these sketches are similar. They're just slight variations, right? Sometimes that happens. Obviously someone's working out ideas for a swan. So this is what you do. This is the part that you struggle with the most. And if you want to get into animation and character development, you have to do a lot of this. So yeah, you got to catch up here and let's get some of these ideas together. All right? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next week, by midnight on Monday, you have to turn this logo in. Finished. Finito. Done. Because we got to move on to the next stage. So all these developments have to be done this week. If you want to meet Wednesday, I can do that after class. Or if you want to just do it Friday morning. And then I need you to take whatever graphic you create on the computer that we look at and you say, yes, that's a good plan. That's when you're going to take that in with your type options and start messing around with those and see which is going to work the best. Right? So you probably are going to show me on Monday 3 to 5 different, ways that you worked it out. Maybe there's even color options, right? That would be good. We can talk about that in class because color is usually easy to manipulate, but, definitely, think about that. And then from there, we can make choices on Monday about your final logo, which one's going to be the best solution, how it's working with the type, right? Because you're going to be looking at this graphic and you're going to be looking at the type and how we can combine that all together. But that's got to be finished up by Monday. All of that.
Okay.
All right? Because then we got to move on to do stationary stuff. So you got to work this week. Like a lot. Like a lot. All right?
All right then.
All right. Any other questions on the type treatment that you showed me?
No.
Okay. All right. So continue on with this. Get these where they need to be. Send me an email or use a text to just let me know if we're going to meet Wednesday or Friday, so I can make sure I'm got that in my schedule, and then we'll go from there. All right.
Okay.
All right. So that's all I have for graphic design 1 because you got to finish this so we can move forward. And graphic design 2, you're working on an ad. We should be seeing final sketches today, right? Electronically?
Yeah.
You gonna share those with me?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Got a lot of notes from my students.
Perfect. My granddaughter's gonna take over. She's gonna teach the rest of the class, okay?
Okay.
Nick, you still with me?
Yeah.